Good morning and welcome to Seed Sunday. So this week we were kindly invited by DSV to go and have a look at their oilseed rape trials ground at Florborough in Nottinghamshire. Some really interesting differences there with the cold weather that we've had, especially in the last couple of weeks. Some different stuff to see, so we took the camera with us. Unfortunately, it was just too windy to record anything out in the field on the day, but I've taken some video and we're going to talk over it now just to show you some of the findings. So one of the most obvious things when we first entered the site was just how much background infection of Tuiv, turnip yellows virus, there were in some of these plants. So if I pause that there, you can just see how some of these susceptible plots had really taken on a lot of the infection. Probably no surprise given the aphid numbers that were about last season in the autumn. And unfortunately for growers now, if you're starting to see symptoms in crops, and there's nothing we can do. All the control needs to happen back in the autumn. The best way to control this is by using a Tuiv resistant variety, which there's now plenty of, and is very much part of the selection process for ADM in terms of choosing which varieties we bring forward to market. But very interesting to see, background level very high, so just bear that in mind for a lot of these clips coming up. This is a plot of Duplo. Now, Duplo is DSV's variety, which is their most vigorous variety that they have bred yet. So in terms of autumn vigor, there is nothing really to compete with it from anything in the market at the moment. It is very, very fast to establish in the autumn. And as such, this isn't a variety that wants drilling early. It wants drilling, ideal slot is probably after your winter wheat harvest. So, probably 10th to 15th of August position and onwards. But we've got a Tuiv resistant variety here, and you can see immediately, thinking back to the clip that we've just done, the difference in terms of how clean that leaf area is. You've got that lovely sort of lush emerald green. The plots on the left-hand side here, these are all three varieties with non-Tuiv resistance. And, it was evident to really see that as soon as you get down into those plots, the turnip yellows on the side-by-side plots have really started to get hold and take away that green leaf area. So Duplo looking really, really good there. One thing we saw a lot of in all the varieties was some degree of frost damage. Now, some had some of this going on as well, which was where the stem had taken on a bit of water, whether that would be through a hole the cabbage stem flea beetle larvae got in. There was a bit of larvae pressure here on the site, but not a fantastic amount. But either way, water's got in there somehow and just bust that stem open, and that was quite clear to see on a lot of the variety plots. Duplo on the left-hand side and another hybrid variety on the right-hand side. The key thing that we were trying to show you here, which is harder to pick up on camera, but is the spring regrowth and the spring vigor of Duplo in comparison to other hybrids. So you can see here that the Duplo on the left just starting to get going away. Stem extension was just beginning really as we got onto the site, probably only just started a day or so before. But yeah, you can see the other competitor hybrid on the right-hand side there. No way is that keeping pace with the Duplo in the spring. So again, Duplo as a variety, if you're needing spring vigor, heavy land, cold, wet soils that are slow to get going again in the spring, then Duplo really fits that position very, very well. One final point really is that a lot of these varieties, as I mentioned, are just starting to get moving, and you don't have to look too far now to find green buds. In a lot of these forward oilseed rape crops that we have commercially on farm. So the parting line really is to make sure that we get a fair bit of nitrogen on as soon as possible to feed the plant when it needs it. So thank you very much for watching the video today, and I hope you all have a great weekend and a good week next week. We'll see you next Sunday.